To know what to do and not do it is to never have known what to do in the first place. How many times have you as a real estate agent decided, okay, this is the day I'm going to hit it? Maybe you even went into the office, or if not at the office, you cleared off a workstation at home, you got all ready, you set the alarm, you told your significant other that you're going to go crush it, sit down and have no clue what to do. There's so much to do, you don't even know where to begin. So the place where we typically start is with those 3 to 5 clients that gave us their contact information last year that we just kind of browbeat one more time, calling them up, are you ready to buy yet? You ready to buy yet? You ready to buy yet? I'm gonna give you the framework right now in just 3 minutes for how you should be able to figure out exactly what your business needs. Not what you wanna do, what feels comfortable, what feels natural, but what your business needs you to do for this next season to be successful. And first, it starts with this understanding. Real estate is only 3 things. It's literally 3 things. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new agent starting out, you're that mid-level agent looking to level up, or you're someone who's running a team, actually adding more leverage and structure. I'm one of those individuals. I had a team of 18 agents. We sold 350 homes a year. I did all that before I transitioned to running brokerages, owning brokerages, and now becoming a full-time real estate coach. I've seen it all. The same framework works for everybody. Let me explain it to you. So this is real estate. It's busyness, it's lead generation, it's structure. It is just those 3 things. This is what busyness is. It's working with buyers, it's working with sellers, it's negotiating the deal with the cross-sale agent, it's doing buyer's consultations, it's hanging the lockbox, it's meeting the whoop-de-whoop, it's the inspector, it's all of that. It's touring homes, it's dealing the transaction. This is about what 85% of the job is. In fact, most real estate agents thrive when they actually have this to do. I used to call it their unique genius, but then it was too confusing because it made you sound smart for doing it. It's actually just busyness. It's the distraction. Yeah, you have to do it, and probably it's you the reason why the client wants to work with, but this isn't the job. The job is these other 2. You ever been to like Muscle Beach in California, or you can imagine the scenario I'm trying to paint for you. It's the guy who's super ripped and jacked up top. He's got these tiny little chicken legs. It's a really unbalanced, dangerous body type. And that's what a real estate agent's business is. When they're on, right? When you're working the deal, you're energized, you're pumped up, you just got the offer accepted, boom, you negotiated 35 hours, the inspection contingency or whatever it was, and it all worked out, you're jacked and you're jazzed. But this is your chicken legs. And then even worse, your core is the structure. We just don't have it. This is why we go peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. So busyness, we know. Lead generation. Lead generation is anytime you're voice to voice, face to face, or belly to belly with someone. DM to DM is very much lead generation. The typical lead generation tools that we're accustomed to are open house, door knock, sphere of influence. But as of recently, we've seen a huge, massive influx of Instagram, YouTube. These are viable channels for lead generation. Now, just because you did a 4-hour open house doesn't mean you lead generated for 4 hours, and that's kind of the confusion. Real estate agents say, I went and did an open house a week. I was coaching with a real estate agent today. She said while she's at an open house, she actually watches Netflix and in between. That's not 4 hours of lead generation. Let's say 3 different potential clients come through, 2 of them with an agent. So that means 1 piece of potential business came through the door. And if you didn't actually ask for their contact information or ask for the buyer's consultation, you did no lead generation. It's all about being visible and valuable. I love that Jim Gaffigan skit. He talks about you could be Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong, but if you're at a party and you're back there double dipping a chip, no one wants to come talk to you. It doesn't matter how good of a story you have. So learning how to be visible and valuable. Some real estate agents figure this part out. See, and they do just enough lead generation to go right back to busyness. And that's why, again, we have the peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. Typically, when a real estate agent says, okay, I'm going to get committed. Tomorrow, I'm going to go into the office. I'm actually going to work on my business. It's because there's such a lack, because the pipeline is so dry. There's such a need. There had to be something pretty big to make them want to focus on their business in the first place. So they want to focus on those behaviors that are going to get them their next piece of business, not necessarily building the structure for things to come. And that's what the structure really is. If you want a big, sound, robust business, let's go back to that 40-hour work week. We would all aspire to work 40 hours a week. Some of you working 50 or 60 aspire to work 40. Some of you working 3 to 4 to 5 aspire to work 40. So of that 40-hour work week, I like to say like this. We can't just anticipate that we're going to break it up into a third, a third, a third. In fact, if we are someone who's a successful agent, you're selling 8, 10, 12, 15, 30 homes, you've gotten really good at busyness. It's not like all of a sudden you can just set up boundaries and borders. So I like to say, let's break it all the way down. Let's carve out 9 hours a week to be intentional. 9 hours is an awful lot. That's like more than you've actually given to your significant other, your family, or the sport league for that kid. So if 9 hour a week isn't something you can actually boulder, if you actually can't like time block it for, if you actually can't break it down, then let's say you can start smaller. If you're someone who can only dedicate 3 hours a week to actually building their business, okay, well then what that means is we got to break that 3 hours a week up into equal portions. That means if you can only do 3 hours a week of actually working on your business, then we actually have to spend 1 hour on the busyness aspect of it, 1 hour in the lead gen, 1 hour in the structure. You know how to go show homes, but let's take it like this. Let's imagine you're a real estate agent and you're like, oh yeah, I totally know how to work with buyers. But if you have a pipeline of 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 buyers who are all just waiting for the right time to buy, that means your buyer's consultation probably needs an awful lot of work. So we want to use that 1 hour a week to actually begin to perfect our buyer's consultation. But maybe buyer's consultations aren't your problem, but you actually don't take very much listing. Then our listing presentation, we want to break it down to the smallest common denominator that's actually going to get us to success in a certain area. If you're a brand new agent, you're like, I need to go learn homes. Not just how to tour homes, how to put a client in the car and drive around, but the difference between the panels that have been recalled, LP siding, learn about soffit, learn about fascia. We actually need to carve out 1 hour a week to learn about homes. You begin to actually build the business just like you would playing with your kid and their Legos, one block at a time. Lead generation. No one sounds as good in real life as you think you do. So the 4-letter word that no one wants to hear is scripts. That's 5 letters. But script work, actually practicing. When's the last time you actually did catechism, right? You wrote out a script on a card and you read it off till you had it memorized. I used to make real estate agents memorize scripts when they were on my team, and I had an agent once say, these don't sound like me at all. And they kind of said that as he was trying to dismiss why you should have to learn scripts. And I just deadpan responded, of course they don't. I'm a professional and you're not. So they sound like me, not you. Let's begin to actually practice and memorize rote memorization, words on a page that sound smarter and better than we do. Chances are, if you actually learn verbatim how to a script and an objection handle and back and forth, when it actually comes time to live fire, you might fumble it up, you might kind of buffer a little bit, but the client doesn't know you're supposed to be working from a script. You're going to sound a heck of a lot better than you did if you didn't do that. But this is structure. And this is the part that where actual businesses get made. I have always thought, if you're familiar with the DISC profile, a high D or a high I might have the best chance at real estate success from the beginning. You know, high Ds are just like, throw me in the deep end and let me swim. High Is just kind of win on their personality, but they're also the ones that have the biggest peaks and valleys with their business. You give me a C-type personality, the compliance type, the one that just wants to they're going to struggle out of the gate. Might not be quite as successful because they're not going to be just as effusive to win a business at a networking meeting or an open house, but they will just systematically chip it away at it till they get better and better and better, and they're going to build the structure. And this is what a structure always is. It's the business budget. Yeah, I said business budget. For a lot of you, that's a foreign concept. It's the marketing. It's your brand. It's the technology you use. It's the leverage you have. There's a big difference between marketing and brand. When I first started selling real estate, I didn't have kids, but I was in my mid-30s, and the nicest car that I could afford to buy was a Volvo. It was one of those Volvo station wagons. So people just assumed I had kids. It was also the age range that I was at. And so I just kind of lived into that avatar. Everything I did for my brand was to create myself as the first-time home buyer. The places where I did open houses, I wasn't doing these fixed gear pencil mustache lofts up in the downtown area. I was doing these ramblers because that's the kind of my demographic. I knew who my avatar was, so I knew how to make my branding cohesive with it. The marketing is actually what you use to make your lead generation simpler and more effective. So I would do an open house, and if I couldn't set a buyer's consultation right then and there, I'd ask for their contact information. If they wouldn't give me their phone number, I'd ask for their mailing address. Most people would give out their mailing addresses back in that day because they didn't really know all the GPS, chat, GPT information you could pull. And when I get their mailing address, I had 8 pieces of mail I would send them over an 8-week period. I sent them a crossword puzzle. I sent them a $1 scratcher ticket. I just sent all this different collateral. Now, if I was going after a luxury listing, if my avatar, if my branding was trying to be luxury, it was kind of shticky. I even sent them a matchbook that had my name on it. I had an avatar, a big cartoon character cut out. It wasn't the branding that would work for luxury, but it was the branding that I was going after. Because I knew my branding, I knew how to tailor my marketing to it. most real estate agents have no idea what their brand is. They think their brand is whoever is going to help them buy the next house, friends, family, coworkers, whoever meet online. Beginning to actually work on your brand. If you've been selling real estate for any period of time, I would say your brand actually needs a retooling. We don't really know that if you've been using the same brand for 4 to 6 to 8 years, that means if you were someone who started selling real estate like I did when I was 31, 32, the brand I used to market towards first-time home buyers is no longer who I want to attract on that level up, that higher networking meeting type clientele, beginning to get more referrals, beginning to work on channel accounts. Your brand needs readdressing. You know all this. This isn't news to you. This goes back to what I said at the beginning, that if you know what you ought to do and you don't do it, then you really never knew what to do in the first place. So where I started was you just decided to hit it. You realize that you're going to focus on your business. You're going to begin a time block. You're going to lead gen, and you sit down, but you don't even know where to begin. This is why you need to step back. You use these as your framework and take the 30,000 foot view. Right now, I'm going to even step out of the frame so you can kind of maybe even pause the video. What does your business actually need? Are you coming up that every year it comes to tax time, you never know where you're actually going to spend it? You never really know where that next paycheck is coming from. You're selling a lot of homes, but you're not actually building the wealth you needed. Well, then I would say you need 1 hour a week building your business budget. You have a great relationship and rapport when you meet people at open houses and networking meetings. You're always getting people to give you their contact information, but then they ghost you. Well, I would say it's one of two things. One, it's your marketing for your long-term nurture follow-up, but it also might be your affect. Maybe you really don't know how to work with buyers or sellers. You probably know how to close for business, to actually ask for the appointment, but maybe you're painting people in a corner. I would say 1 hour a week probably needs to go to winning people over, how to win friends and influence others. You're a real estate agent that is so good. Everyone's always saying they're going to use you, and you have 5-star reviews, but then you look at your book of business last year, and of the 12 homes you sold, none of them are for referral. Your marketing, your events, your long-term drip campaign. Very rarely what you think you need to do to get that next piece of business is what your business actually needs, so you're not worried about that next piece of business. There you go. I hope this helps. So I'm going to do a whole series of these videos. I'm going to be breaking these down a little bit more statically, kind of walking you through step by step what you should be doing, creating scenarios and situations that might benefit. So I don't know. If you like my channel, go ahead and subscribe, but we already kind of get how that thing works. I've been a real estate coach for the better part of 7 years, but I've never actually prospected for business. You know why? I just hired a coach, and he's actually helping me see that the way that I need to get to my next level is going back and taking a page right from my very own playbook. So do me a favor, like, subscribe. If you think this video will benefit someone you know, go ahead and send it to them. Otherwise, you're just going to get me in my gym shorts rocking the whiteboard.